Hey, wonderful people, a pleasant morning to you. Wonderful people, I was watching the news last evening, but the evening before I was hearing some things through the grapevine, but I don't like when conversations or arguments are very muddy and choppy and they seem to be without facts. So I sometimes wait. What the reason why I say sometimes, because as humans, sometimes we will hear something and it sounds a little plausible and we run with it, knowing that we have to come back and say no. But I try my best to ensure that I get the facts before I come off and give, even if I want to give my viewpoints after deducing the information. It is imperative that we promulgate a message of truth and facts, because a lot of that is lacking in today's society. I'm not talking about being mean and nasty and vitriolic with our lips, with our words, but I'm talking about presenting something and coming to some semblance of a resolution if we can. Now, beautiful people, I realized, I don't know when it was, but in fairly recent times, one of our, I call it, very known TikToker, Rosalee, I think her real name is June, I don't know her last name. I do look at her, program from time to time, because sometimes you need to understand people. And I suppose with my background exposure in terms of what I did when I went to the University of the West Indies, I don't ignore people, no matter how different they may be, no matter how divisive they may seem, no matter how combative they may come across. It is important that we understand behaviors, that we can come to resolutions and, or solutions to help to combat, behaviors that may not help with growth and development. So I, in particular, last evening, I noticed Rosalee, she was quiet for the moment that I stayed. I stayed maybe about 15 minutes watching her. She barely spoke. She could not speak. There was a man in the background saying, "Why are you crying, Rosalee?" So it should be the police officers crying. She was in so much emotional and psychological pain that the tears just came tumbling down without her even, really wrenching her face. At one point she was, but she kind of stopped when the guy, was trying to just bring her back in his own way, comfort her. He knew in the best way that he knows how, but he basically was kind of like a ritual saying to her, "Do not cry, Rosalee. Don't let them see you crying. They're the ones that should be crying because they basically violated you. They took advantage of you." And prior to that, I saw her, being interviewed by the news reporter, and she said that she was in her sleep. Maybe she slept lightly or in a deep sleep, heard the commotion. I don't know if her door was busted down, but they came in and she was nude. I don't want to say the other word because, TikTok is funny with the words. She was nude, so she had on no clothes. And she noticed, because you can know when somebody's videoing, you feel it, you sense it when they're holding up that phone. Why would you hold up the phone? And she asked him, "Are you videotaping me?" And I don't know, she said he was laughing, but they were. And, her privacy, her right to privacy, no matter where she lives or comes from, should have been honored by the police officers. Now, when you hear from the grapevine, that they were chasing, I don't know if it's her common law husband, I don't know the ramifications or what the situation behind them chasing him. And people were saying that they went to other houses as well. Irrespective of that, the fact of the matter is, when you realize that this woman is without clothing, she has on no clothes, that they should have turned their heads and said, "Let me give you time to get yourself together. And then if I need to question you on a matter that has some legal ramifications or legal issue, then we proceed." Because she has that right. Somebody was saying that they know of a case where in the United States, something like that had happened, and they came in on the woman when they realized that she wasn't properly dressed. They said, they just turned around and said, "I'm going to allow you to get yourself together and then we can have the conversation." Her right was despised. It was rejected. It was refuted. It was not treated with respect. It was not cherished. It was not valued. It was not honored. And that is a flagrant disregard to what the JCF's mantra or their mission is: to serve, to protect, and to reassure that I'm here to protect you, that I'm here to serve you. While I have to be a law-abiding citizen, I've often said the two main powers that they have is to arrest and charge. Anything else outside of that, the court deals with that. They have, it is incumbent, it behooves them to treat people, whether you think they're of the lower echelon of society or not, to treat them with respect. And I'm going to give you my opinion on the entire situation. Now, my beautiful people, I think that the video was deliberately done because she's a known TikToker. She's a known TikToker, I'm sure, throughout all strata of society. She's a known TikToker. What bothers me with that situation, and this is my personal view, and if I'm wrong, I have no problems, standing correct. They know the size and the weight of this woman. They knew the condition of her home, because when I saw the news that the news encapsulated her house, and I said, oh my God, as a woman, I can understand how she felt as though she would want to go under the earth. Because as much as she may behave a particular way that is unseeming on the TikTok, which is really because her back is against the wall, because they come at her people, and her self-esteem has probably, it has been smothered, strangled to death because of the things that people say about her and her weight, the condition of her home, and to have that, highlighted in the media, because it was shown on the media, not her nudeness. Somebody was telling me of some mountain site, I don't even know what that is, in which the nakedness, the nudeness was shown. Flagrant disregard for the right and privacy of the woman of her home, and a flagrant disregard to their principles and their policies. IPROB says they're going to do an investigation, which I hope. But let me tell you, police officers, you may find that to be funny. You may think it is a joke. I don't know. Somebody said that you guys are paid. I don't want to get into the mix-up part of it. But I'm saying to you, God is going to hold you guys accountable. You're not going to laugh for very long if it is that you're laughing. What you did was wrong. It was immoral. It was illegal. At the highest level. When I saw this particular tick, she could not even make the crying sounds. The period in which I watched her, the tears just came down. She was just at her wit's end. That I remember, because I heard her, they normally ask for things and so on, but she said she needed a particular amount of money to give to the lawyer on Monday. And they want that lawyer to do as best as they can to get justice for this young woman. To get justice for this young woman. Flagrant disregard. Flagrant disregard for the woman's, her body, her property. You know how precious the body and the property of a woman is? Do you know how precious the property and the body of a woman is? Even the body, God talks about the body being the temple. The temple is a sacred place. And as best as she can, I've never seen her dressed inappropriate, meaning, she's impily, skimpily dressed. She wouldn't, because of her weight, her size, and how they put her down. It doesn't matter, people, if you think that because of her behavior, she should be punished. Not in this manner. Not in this manner, people. We have to be careful how we laud wrong, because if the Bible says if you reward evil with good, we're not talking about in the case like when you said love your enemy. We're talking about if you laud evil with good, like you praise evil, evil will never leave your doorstep. Be careful. So be careful of how you're saying. Some of you are saying, oh, good for her, me not feel sorry. Don't. They disregarded her right. They disregarded the temple, that sacredness of her body and her home. Oh my God. My heart went out to her. And when hurt, you should make a woman ball, you know. Men, the worst thing you could ever do is make that woman ball like that. God, dog, I'm gonna stop a police. I hope they hold you accountable. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, give me a like.